And now in Climate Watch, extreme weather conditions are stretching across the U.S. Western states are experiencing excessive heat along with a record-setting drought. And states on the Atlantic and Gulf Coast are bracing for what's expected to be an above-normal hurricane season. Scientists predict the changing climate could mean more extreme conditions. Now it's raising attention to how the weather will impact our economy. For more, I want to bring in Bennett. He is the co-founder and chief product officer of the Demex Group. He's also the chairman of the American Meteorological Society's Committee on Financial Weather and Climate Risk. Stephen, thanks for being here. So tell us, how is extreme weather across the U.S. impacting the economy and supply chains?
So extreme weather in 2020 alone cost the U.S. Insurance industry over $70 billion. This year alone in Texas, the polar vortex is expected to cost the insurance industry between $10 and $20 billion, which is a 10 times increase over winter storms last year.
And how is climate change producing more extreme weather in the U.S. and globally?
So climate change has an impact on global weather patterns, and those weather patterns are what actually produces extreme weather. So as the climate changes, weather patterns shift north or south, east or west, and that pushes the types of weather that would typically be observed in one part of the country into a different part of the country. So desert heat may get nudged eastward out into Texas or the Midwest. So climate change is affecting overall the distribution of how weather extremes are affecting different parts of the country.
So this is a huge problem. It's a global problem. I'm wondering if there are steps, given all of that, that businesses can take to lower the risks that are posed by climate change.
That's a great question. So businesses are impacted. A lot of businesses are impacted by the weather, and extreme weather affects businesses in some extreme ways. It'll affect profitability. So costs will go up in some businesses during certain types of weather events, or revenues may go down in other types of weather events. So, and it can affect all levels of business, from small businesses to large. Just a simple example might be if you think about your neighborhood restaurant, where perhaps we think about the Pacific Northwest, which is going to be looking at a severe heat wave coming up over the next several days. And many restaurants in the Northwest U.S. and Seattle and Portland don't have air conditioning inside their dining room. So when the temperature rises to 90 or 100 degrees, people that would normally go out to eat just stay home. So it will affect the revenue of those businesses. They basically don't make money because people aren't coming out to eat. So businesses can prepare and can plan and act around the weather extremes as they come. So it's important for businesses to understand exactly how the weather affects them, because then they can begin thinking about what they can do to react.
So explain a little bit more about what your company, Demex, the Demex Group rather, does when it comes to trying to assess the weather data and risk analysis then.
Yeah, so for a business that's affected by extreme weather, the best way to think about this is the first thing that you want to do is understand how the weather affects your business. So in a heat wave, people don't come to the restaurant. So what you may do then is, if you watch your local news and you see that a heat wave is coming and you run the restaurant, you can basically plan your staffing accordingly. So you can cut hours, essentially. You can have fewer people on staff. You may adjust your food orders so that you don't have extra material on hand. So step one is to understand. Step two is to take action when you know that the extreme weather is coming. The third step, and this is where our company comes into play, is to help businesses recover following an extreme event. So businesses can't control the weather, but the weather doesn't need to be an excuse for poor financial results. So what we do is we work with insurance companies to help businesses recover after an extreme weather event. So in the instance of an extreme heat wave that may cut business for restaurants in the Northwest, an insurance policy may actually be able to help that business recover those lost revenues. And what our company does is our company helps those insurance companies place that risk, find that business, and understand how to price the premiums for those kind of policies.
So, Stephen, I'm trying to get a bigger handle on what we understand is happening in terms of climate change and the extreme weather events that we're seeing and are predicted for the rest of this year. What type of overall assessment do you have for how the U.S. economy is going to fare and how much is going to be impacted in this year?
Well, it's early enough in the year. We've had a few extreme events already, so this is likely to be a year that is heavily impacted by extreme weather in overall costs. So, like I mentioned, last year, $70 billion in insured losses due to extreme weather. We know that we've already experienced between 10 to 20 billion in one single event in Texas earlier this year. So this is likely to be a year that ranks relatively highly in the overall economic impact of extreme weather. Climate change is affecting weather extremes, and really the best we can do is just think about how to prepare, react, and recover when the events occur.
All right, Stephen Bennett, thank you.
Thanks, Lana.